Go ahead.
All right, here we are, Meryl and Nancy with Jersey Chats, and we are excited to be talking to you today. Here's my finger wagging at you because we have some important information on this thought about, when we get scared, when we feel like we're not, what's the word, Meryl?
Worthy.
Yes. So that's what we want to talk about today, because even though, we might not say we're worthiness coaches, that's what the bottom line is often, in the stories that we tell ourselves. So Meryl and I both have a lot of different skills that we practice on ourselves and then really feel drawn to pass on. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I can step right into my latest story.
Oh, please.
So yeah,
Tell me.
yes, I started a new project, a part of my business, and it's a subscription service. It's called Underhill Life. And so it came to me that this is the right time to do it. And I got the energy for it. And so it was just like, do it. It's got to get done before Mother's Day. And so I put just almost stop everything but my teaching. And, I don't know who my husband is. I haven't talked to him in weeks. Just push on through that and get that out. And I did. And I crashed. And I sat, it was a technology problem. There's something, my phone, luckily Jim just got a new phone so I could use his. So all these videos that I taped were all they were a mess. I didn't listen to them. I got this, cranking them out, and then had to go back and do them all. But anyway, so I noticed that was happening and I crashed. He was up working at his desk and I sat next to him and he listened. And I told him all my stories around I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
God didn't give me the recipe. Everything I do is a blah, blah, blah. And when he would say some of the words I'm saying, all my stories, just that I'm just tainted. I'm totally tainted.
Oh,
I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. I
Mhm.
don't have enough support. And I did put that little thing out. I don't have enough support. And he got it. And he, he helped me kind of work through what
Mhm.
that was. I was really lucky to have him there. And so we all need somebody, especially when that story comes out. And after saying it, just blah, it all out, I was able to get to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my latest story.
I'm so glad. Yeah. I know.
So
Let's see. My latest.
my
I don't know
latest.
what to choose from. I mean, I was just talking about a conversation right before we got on about how I experienced burnout in my former career. And that in and of itself makes you feel, when you don't honor what's best for you, you feel like you're not worthy and deserving of taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's life is showing you that you can live another way. Like there is another way than the way that you think you're supposed to be living. And my burnout ended up to be a blessing, really, because it forced me to change my life. It forced me to learn all these things about how to take care of myself in a way that really serves me on a much deeper level, deep into my soul. And then all these things that I learned, I want to share with the world, like you were saying in the beginning. So yeah, it's very interesting how we're brought up. We have these events that happen to us when we're young. It could be a couple of simple things. I mean, I can remember this. When I was 12, a girl in my home economics class. I think it was like sewing or something. And at that age, at the age of 12, I looked like a full grown, 18-year-old woman. And, but my mom didn't really know how to dress me. And because, excuse me, I was wearing, like Mrs. size clothes, but I was a young teen. So it was hard to find where to shop and dress me and stuff like that. So I had like the same sweatshirt in many different colors, the same pair of pants, like 5 pairs of the same pair of pants. Excuse me. And this girl made fun of me. She was like, "You wear the same thing every day." And I was like, "Oh, right." I mean, it's just like, it can still kind of, there's little residuals sometimes of that, that can come up, right? So of course I went home and I told my mom, I was like, "You have to take me shopping," right? "You have to take me shopping." And she did, and I, and then of course the same girl was like, "Oh, I see you got new clothes," I mean, like, really. So, but yeah, like when you have a little event like that, it stays with you until you realize as an adult, like those little things that come up that remind you of that event are triggers. And when you're triggered, you need to be able to say, "Oh, okay, it's bringing up the 12-year-old me," right? And I need, what does that 12-year-old me need? 12-year-old me need, right? It needs love, it needs support, it needs nurturing. It needs to know that I'm, perfectly imperfect at that age, right? But we weren't, we just weren't taught to look at ourselves that way.
No.
So it's taken a
I
life.
always, yeah, I always say, if the thoughts in your head that keep you feeling small and not enough are, if they didn't come from your family, they came from your, junior high school.
Yeah.
Yep, it's one or the other. Because I know, my husband grew up in just like Leave It to Beaver kind of scene, and then, when he was in junior high, he didn't have any, is like, where are these people even coming from? And those messages. And I even hear Lady Gaga, I remember hearing her talk. She did a Google talk and she just said, look at where I'm at. Look at where I'm at in my life. And I'm still listening to those kids that called me names when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even though I had that, I still managed to be brave and courageous and like move through life. Right. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure where that came from, but
yeah, there was more than just those stories. But
well,
when I see people who want to expand their lives, and maybe somehow we got through into some kind of work that is maybe fulfilling or pays the bills, and we ended up with a person to be with, maybe or maybe not, and we want to make changes. We go, okay, now I'm ready to do something new, or there's people that just been talking to themselves, stink about themselves inside their head to themselves for years, even on the outside, when we look like the life looks really good. And and that's really where this piece where you and I have studied of yoga comes in, is that we start to really notice what's going on inside our own heads, and we want to clean that and clear it up.
Yep.
Because it does come to haunt us and maybe keep us from growing into our potential.
Yeah, I mean, I was just reading something. Oh, that sounds nice. The birds.
Yeah, the birds.
I was just reading something the other day that was about the word enlightened. And I hope to be enlightened someday. But what that really means to me is when you are triggered, or, you know, when some negative thought comes up in your mind, or you get like a sudden situation happens, right? You're able to really navigate through that with such grace, right? You can pause, you can really work through your thoughts and like think about how is my next move like going to best serve me, you know, in this situation. Um, and that's a true art. I mean, that's something that it may come to people, you know, like they may be born with that, you know. I was not born with that. It's definitely been something that I've learned.
Yeah.
And I can be good at it sometimes, not all the time, but some of the time.
I know I've trained people like, you know, in a lot of places around the world. And I haven't met anybody who doesn't struggle with this. And so it's lessening the struggle.
Yes.
Lessening the struggle.
Absolutely.
You know, and getting people around us who don't feed into that. Number one, clear them out.
Yes.
And getting more of our circle of influence of people that just like, no, that's not my experience of you.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, and I, you know I said before, I'm not sure where the brave and the courageous comes from, but really I feel worthy deep down inside. It's just the life events that have happened to me to make me question that. That's the difference. Right. So when you get back, or for me, when I get back to thinking and connecting to my heart, then I'm good. Right. When you get up in the mind, not good. Stay out of your mind.
Yeah.
Always come back to your heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know for me, you know, because I used to suffer from pretty bad depression, and it's not even around that much anymore. And it's been, for me, it was a lifestyle change to get in touch with how this mind, how I want to live inside my own body, how I want to be at home inside my own body.
Right.
And it's like the exercise I do, which creates the dopamine. It's the food I eat, which don't set off brain fog and make me feel uncomfortable. It's the relaxation techniques that I do. And it is like cleaning up the junk food of the mind, like those slippery slopes. I start thinking bad. No, I'm going to replace that with affirmations over and over and over again for years, but it's worth it.
Yes.
And then the other little piece, you know, that I work with is, do you feel your life's purpose? And when you feel a sense of service, you're out there doing service, or your service-oriented work is even just an hour of your week, that can help your mental health. And so all these are the things that I've used. And I know Meryl you've gotten into some really refined techniques also that you use.
Excuse me. Yeah. EFT tapping has been really big for me. That helps to, excuse me.
It's okay. I know.
That helps to awaken. I can't talk.
Okay. So I know Meryl is really good with EFT tapping, and that I've learned some of that technique from her too. And I really, I value that too. And the guided meditations, like, you know, we both do that can really help to replace when, so you get in that relaxed mode.
Yeah.
And you replace what isn't useful anymore. Those things those kids said in junior high, not useful. Get them out. Sometimes our parents or our siblings that weren't nice to us, just because nobody had ever been nice to them.
Yeah.
We don't need it. Get it out. And so there's these techniques to replace.
Yes. So like I was trying to say before with the EFT tapping, what that does is if I was working on that situation that I was mentioning before with the girl that made fun of me, it would awaken the situation, right? And then it would completely neutralize it so that I wouldn't be triggered in that way again. So that's the great thing about EFT tapping. I do a lot of journaling, a lot of reflection, and a lot of journaling, and every little thing that might trigger me throughout my day, I question with curiosity and wonder, why,
Yeah.
right? And that helps to shift things, you know, pivot your thoughts to something positive, or go to an affirmation, like you said, or I say a lot, what else is possible here is something that I use a lot, a lot. Sometimes I feel like asking questions works better than an affirmation for me. Because sometimes an affirmation, you can still feel the doubt inside. So I say, instead of, I mean, I believe I am worthy, but if it's I am worthy and you don't feel that, really, ask, how can I feel more worthy? Then there's no doubt in that, right? And then you're open to these possibilities of seeing new opportunities for yourself, right, to come in to help you feel more worthy.
Nice.
So
Good.
yeah.
Well, I think it was good to chat with you,
I know. I
Meryl,
love you.
and I hope that, you know, for some of our friends out there, this was useful way to kind of process these thoughts that go on in our head. And, you know, we're here, we're available to help. Let us know what you need.
Yes. So how can people reach out to you, Nancy?
Well, there's, you know, a Facebook page and Instagram, but also I have a couple websites. So my classes I now have 2 websites. We're 3 actually with the nonprofit, but Yoga Impact Institute is where you'll find classes and trainings. And now the brand new, just launched today, underhilllife.com is a subscription service. It is the lowest cost way that I know how to create valuable lifestyle hacks for you.
Yeah.
How about you, Meryl?
Besides being on, I'm mostly on Facebook. I do have an Instagram page, but I do have Yoga with Meryl Hayton on YouTube, with some yoga videos and some EFT tapping videos. If you subscribe to my website, you do get a free EFT tapping video to help you feel worthy, believe it or not, on the same subject, I know, which is merylhayton.com.
All right.
That's it. I think that concludes our chat for today.
Yep.
Right.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Meryl.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Leave some comments below and let us know.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.